Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning in. Once again, it is Bert Alexander and we are back with another video. As you can see, I'm ready for today's video. I have on my Janet Jackson All For You World Tour hoodie that my friend Sam got me. Shout out to Sam. Also got, boom, the Doesn't Really Matter 12-inch vinyl record. Janet Jackson's Doesn't Really Matter. Now, I do not know how y'all feel about this song, but this literally is one of my favorite songs of all time. Not even just Janet Jackson records, just favorite songs in general. Literally one of the first songs I just remember existing. Definitely the first music video that I vividly remember in my mind as a child. But it wasn't until I became older that I realized what made this song so great. In today's stand moment video, I'm going to break down why that is. I really want to get into the process of how Doesn't Really Matter even came about, because the backstory is actually pretty intriguing. Janet Jackson came off of 1997's The Velvet Rope album, which kind of was a commercial disappointment for the artist, even though that I think that it is one of the greatest records ever created. Probably my favorite album of all time. But the record was a complete departure from Janet's previous records. The Velvet Rope album explored themes of introspection and depression, so it was more dark, and it was completely different of what was expected of a typical Janet Jackson record for the general public. So as we step into the new millennium, the euphoric Doesn't Really Matter is a complete break from Janet Jackson's previous aesthetic with the Velvet Rope. And critics saw it as a complete return to form. Now, how the song actually came about, because if you're unaware, the song actually is a soundtrack single. After the Velvet Rope era and the Velvet Rope tour, Janet Jackson wanted to return to acting. Options that Janet Jackson were exploring were The Nutty Professor and X-Men. And we all know which one she chose. And so after Janet Jackson was cast to play in The Nutty Professor, filmmakers were obviously ecstatic to have her be a part of the soundtrack. Janet Jackson was a little bit unsure because she just didn't want to make sure that the music wasn't distracting from her acting performance. But with a little bit of convincing, Janet Jackson agreed, and thus Doesn't Really Matter became a working idea. Now, the whole basis of the song is actually the words from an old poem. Her longtime collaborator Jimmy Jam took these words and created the melody, and thus the song began to form. After the sessions began, the song was nearing completion. Janet Jackson still wasn't really sold on the song. She didn't really like Doesn't Really Matter. To the point where when it was time to submit the song, Janet actually brought in another song as well to give them a second option, just in case they didn't like Doesn't Really Matter. That song ended up being Feel So Right, which was included on Janet Jackson's upcoming album at the time, All For You. Safe to say, the right decision was made. Doesn't Really Matter became an absolute success for Janet. Spending 3 weeks atop the Billboard Hot 100 and being performed on multiple stages, Doesn't Really Matter became one of Janet Jackson's signature hits. Now, let's get into really what makes this song so special. The fact of the matter is, Doesn't Really Matter is a marvel in modern pop songwriting. When you break down the actual song structure and you look into it, it's like, whoa! So much effort really went into this. Let's go ahead and break it down. You start off with the intro, very beautiful, very pleasing to the ears before you get into the actual song. Very reminiscent of what Donna Summer used to do, and Jimmy Jam, I believe, used this as a reference. Intro, verse, pre-chorus. Typical of a song, right? Let's continue. Chorus, post-chorus. Now, that's when you have to take a break, because then you realize, how many songs do you know actually have a post-chorus? I'm drawing a blank right now. I'm drawing a blank. But let us continue, because it keeps going. Post-chorus goes into the second verse, goes into the dance break. Now this was very typical for a Janet Jackson song, because Janet Jackson is a dancer. It's something that you really do not hear in music these days, because no one really dances anymore. But, again, let's continue. Dance break, into chorus, post-chorus, into a bridge. You already know, girl, bridges aren't in songs anymore today at all. So the fact that the song is already stacked, you already have a post-chorus, a dance break, and you're giving us a bridge as well. But it keeps going further, it keeps going further. After the bridge, the pre-chorus again goes into the chorus, goes into a key change to an alternate chorus. Right, girl, the song has 2 different choruses. And the way that that came about, whenever they created the melody, Janet used the words from her poem. Doesn't really matter what the eyes see, cause I'm in love with the inner being of. That, of course, became the original chorus. Jimmy Jam, however, when he created the melody, wanted to reference the movie title in the song, which is the nutty, 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 my love for you. I can't believe my dreams come true. So, the decision was brought to Janet Jackson. Which chorus do we keep? Janet liked both of them, and so, girl, she kept both of them. Which is why we have the alternate chorus in the later part of the song with the key change. Girl, astronomical, right? And to finish off the song, we have the outro, mirroring the very pretty and ethereal sounds that the intro gave us. And thus, we have a pop hit born. It never really occurred to me when I was listening to the song that all of these different moving parts were going into it. And it wasn't until I actually sat down, looked at the lyrical breakdown, and realized how involved this song was. And I realized, like, a lot of effort really went into a song that was supposed to be a one-off for a soundtrack. Now, this is a song that Janet didn't even really see the potential of even going anywhere. And it makes me believe that had this song not even been a hit, maybe it wouldn't have been even attached to any of her projects, you know? And I think that really speaks to Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's talent as songwriters and producers, because, girl, that's a lot to go and put into a song. And this video came about because I actually tweeted about this, and it went semi-viral on Twitter. Because they truly are one of my favorite producers. Because I feel like they are such chameleons of music. Whenever you think about the previous record that they had worked with Janet, which was the very trip-hop, The Velvet Rope, it doesn't really matter, it sounds completely different. However, it still sounds very intentional. The commitment to it is admirable. And I think it takes a real talent and a real knowledge of music to have two different genres like that and sound very authentic. Because I really find that Doesn't Really Matter was an answer to the things that Max Martin was producing for Janet Jackson tribute acts like NSYNC, the Backstreet Boys, and Britney Spears. And they really mirrored that aesthetic and made it sound super authentic. Now, my friend brought this to me because I'm pretty unfamiliar with J-pop in general, but I was told as well that that had a really big influence on the Doesn't Really Matter sound. Again, I think the talent as producers to really understand music and understand what makes certain things work in a particular genre and to make that fit Janet Jackson so smoothly. Bravo. Bravo, literally. Bravo, bravo. Crazy to see her jump from, you know, the genre that she was making with The Velvet Rope and jump to something euphoric and pop as Doesn't Really Matter, and it worked completely. And I mean, I would love the opportunity to sit down and pick Jimmy Jam's head, because I just have so many questions about him as a producer, because if you just look at the catalog that what he's produced, it's amazing. And some of the songs, they have like all similar motifs, and that's how you know that this is a Jimmy Jam song, but still so expansive. And again, a lot of his songs sound so different from one another, and they still sound so authentic. Like, you wouldn't even think that they were able to produce some of the things they produced, because it's like, what, that doesn't even sound like it's such a departure from what you were doing before. Again, though, that's musical genius right there for you. And another really great aspect of Doesn't Really Matter is the vocal production. People look at me really crazy when I say that Janet Jackson is one of my favorite vocalists of all time, because, you know, girl, she's not really known for vocals. And I'll say this, I said this once in the video and I'll keep on saying it. Janet Jackson has some of the best, if not one of the best vocal productions in the music industry. Her vocals are always layered and so beautiful, and they just really just give like this luxuriousness to the song. And I mean, it makes sense. She's a Taurus, girl. She's ruled by Venus. Of course, girl, we're gonna give you luxurious. We're gonna give you plush, as she says. And I think that Doesn't Really Matter, they even stepped up the vocal production, because I recently got a hold of the stems, and just the vocal layering and the things that just were going on in the background and in the productions of the vocals. It's just, and that's what gives it that really warm and inviting like feeling. And that's what makes a song so happy and makes you feel so comfortable when listening. And that's why it's so comforting as a song, because those vocals and those vocal harmonies, those layers really wrap you and really like immerse you into the song.
You're so kind. Ooh, you're all mine. Can't believe you're mine. Ooh. up and show you that my
Shout out to Janet Jackson. Again, Chef's Kiss. Another aspect of really why I love this song. I brought this up in the beginning of the video. Literally one of my first memories as like a music video as a child. What a music video to remember, right? Joseph Kahn directed the video. I literally like begged my parents to get me one of those robot dogs that she had in the videos, and I had one. They got it for me for Christmas. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video and me breaking down. Let me know what other stand moments should I have. I have a couple of ideas that I'm probably gonna film in the coming weeks. Shout out to Jimmy Jam. Shout out to Terry Lewis. Shout out to Janet motherfucking Jackson for doing what they needed to be done. Thank you all for watching. As always, subscribe to me on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, engage with me there. Once again, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for watching, and until next time.